Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. This video is, yeah, if you don't like this, then, don't, watch this video, but hold on, let me just click this, never mind, it didn't let me click the link, but, I'm sure you read it. But yes, this is Midnight Witch. Now, heard about it from a video on YouTube, actually. It's a psychological horror, a pretty good psychological horror, visual novel game. Similar, and I heard that it's similar to Doki Doki Literature Club, and I uploaded a 4-part series on DDLC on my channel, and I really enjoyed that one, so I figured why not give this one a shot. I don't know how long this is, it came out on May 31st last year, apparently, and I've never heard about it. It only didn't pop up in my recommended because apparently I have specific preferences. I don't know, when it comes to games. I didn't set any myself, but apparently so. But either way, let me just check out settings first. Display window, yeah, skip. No, it's fine. French is the other language it can be. Yeah, well, I just say I'll just go ahead and start. What's my name again? I'm gonna use my real name for this one, because I do tend to. It's a lovely name. That's kind of creepy. That's creepy already. What the heck? That's very weird. What was your name again? Right. Hey Riley, move! My neurons are very slowly kicking in, like a rusty machine getting greased by motor oil. Huh? I look up with still sleepy eyes towards the origin of this pleasant morning greeting and notice Dan's cocky grin. Wes, his loyal minion, is standing right next to him. Really not a morning person, even worse than me. I feel like I've been jolted awake from a particularly heavy sleep. Like every night I didn't go to bed until I had exhausted all the distractions available to a broke student. Well-rounded mix of TV shows, video games, procrastination on social media. And like every morning, I promised myself to go to bed as soon as I get home. Suddenly I felt a hand on my shoulders that abruptly pulls me out of my daydreaming. Man, you're really out of it today. No, I just what exactly? Unable to finish my sentence, I gently massaged my aching temples. You're with Emma, right? It's been what, 6 years? What? No, it's only been 2. 2 years? Now that's a long-term relationship. Come on, you must have hit 2 years of cumulative relationships long ago, but with more than 10 girls. Hey, I'm just looking for the perfect one. I answered with a particularly loud yawn. Yeah, if you say so, but what the hell are you doing at school this early? I'm a new man, bro. Time for a quick smoke, and then I'm gonna be sitting in the front row. Wes burst out laughing, revealing perfectly aligned little pointy teeth. And not pointy, it looks very flat to me. What about you? Decided to rebuild your life too? Wes's smile suddenly fades and his face turns pale. Well, he's not really a model of self-confidence. Did you not hear? We have a new professor for this morning. His sentence hangs in the air. So what? You don't get it, Riley. The professor, here she's absolutely... A familiar voice, soft and melodious, reaches my ears. Okay, so all I know about this game is that you start the game off with a girlfriend, and there are a pair of twins, the popular girl, the girlfriend, and the professor, or something, I think. And I didn't even know those two guys are in this game at all. But I mean, gender equality, I guess. Emma stands right behind us, looking puzzled. Guys, why are you blocking the entrance? Dan slaps me on the back, nearly knocking the wind out of me. Look, here's your sweetheart. I jostled Dan slightly to get close to Emma and put a shy arm around her shoulders. Hey, are you okay? Emma smiles at me and places a light kiss on my lips. Oh yeah, which has a way of triggering a small wave of heat that radiates down my belly. What the fuck? I'm not really the romantic type, but this girl's brought out feelings in me that were previously totally unknown to me. Dan was telling me about the new professor we're having this morning, apparently. Emma looks at me with a surprised expression. Oh right, you heard it too? I remain slightly puzzled. Is this such big news? A new professor? Ha! A normal answer at last. Look, kids, it's time to go take a smoke outside and talk about the topic of the utmost importance. He turns abruptly to Wes. Wes, go get seats at the back for us. I want to sleep peacefully as soon as the new professor starts spouting off her lecture. With a shifted look on his face, Wes nods and quickly leaves for the auditorium. With my arm still around him, I follow Dan to the park without much enthusiasm. What is it with everyone and this new professor? Is it someone famous? The autumn breeze makes Emma's shoulders shiver, and she decides to cling to my arm a little tighter in hopes of drawing some warmth from it. My goofy smile quickly fades as I become aware of Dan's condescending look. I didn't know you were such a hopeless romantic. Yeah, I get it. You're not very familiar with this concept. I'm looking for the right person too. I mean, if Jessica decided one day to... Who knows? After all, I would just need a stroke to fall into your arms. I turn my head to the newcomer. I don't know if that was like good English or if that was how it's supposed to sound, but okay. Jessica, most popular of the class. Sunlight slides over her incredibly long red hair. Many heads turn and she walks around the campus. I don't think she has many female friends. I feel his fingers tighten on my arm and I notice a slight uneasy look on her face. She and Jessica don't get along very well, but to say the least. Jessica, I was just waiting for you to come and brighten up this dreary morning. Don't even dream about it, Dan. Dan bursts out laughing. The two of them actually get along pretty well. I don't think there's any hint of romance between them, but who knows. Anyway, what's about this new professor? What's so interesting about her? Yeah, I feel like she's all anyone's talking about. Is this really a big thing? A new professor? Just what I'm thinking. Finally! Emma speaks up in an unusually excited voice. I heard she graduated top of her class last year. She was so good that the university agreed to hire her as an assistant professor, even though she's barely older than us. Jessica glares at Emma with a contemptuous look. Jesus Christ, get that look off your fucking face. That's my girlfriend you're talking to. She's probably your spirit animal, right, Miss Perfect? Emma cows in on herself as if she's been slapped. I have to step in. Hey, Jessica, I know your grass-based diet must be such a pain on a daily basis, but you don't need to lash out onto others. Grass-based? Jessica strides towards me in a way that's both graceful and intimidating. Her haughty air and amber eyes seem capable of setting the surrounding air ablaze at any moment. I may have gone a bit too far. You, or I happy to know that your underwear sits right next to Miss Perfect's bed 3 times a week, but you're going to get your feet back on the ground. Hey, fucking yo. Dude, hey, whoa, hey, calm down right now. Sorry, milady. This girl is scary. Wonder who would be crazy enough to chase after her. Chill, Jess. You know, Riley is the white knight type, just defending his damsel in distress. There are damsels in distress that would be better off thrown to the dragon. What a quote, bro. An unusual silence sets in. Don't understand the animosity between Jessica and Emma. Fortunately, Dan often manages to diffuse the tension. He got a real gift for that. His hand brushes Jessica's shoulder and she immediately turns her animosity to this new threat. Jessica, you don't understand. This new professor, apparently, she is absolutely gorgeous! Jessica raises a haughty eyebrow. What? She wears a miniskirt and plunging cleavage, and that's enough to tickle your Y chromosome? oh god, this game's gonna be fun. As in, I'm gonna have to embarrass myself while reading it. Yay. My poor Dan, I thought you were not that stupid. Dan shakes his head, condescending smile on his lips. Don't understand. I've never gotten so much dithyrambic feedback on a girl. Who says that? It's like she's everyone's first choice. Dithyrambic. Don't use big words you don't understand. To impress this infamous professor. Jessica rolls her eyes with a sigh. Dan, you're really a complete idiot. Jessica gives Emma one last contemptuous look, then heads towards the main building. I think it's time to go. Emma takes my hand and heads toward the building as well. I follow her with my feet dragging. This class is way too early in the morning. Clock. I walk into the half-empty auditorium with Emma still holding my hand. Looks like not everyone is planning to attend the morning lecture. Let's sit over there. As usual, Emma sits at one of the top middle rows at a very reasonable distance from the board. How long does this class last again? 3 hours, I think? I stare at her unblinkingly for far too long to hide my dismay. Over the whole week? A small crystal chiming laugh escapes Emma's thin lips as she quickly me. Something so silly. Social studies is one of my favourite subjects. Yeah, me too. One of my favourites to skip. Same. Emma grabs my arm with particularly adorable expression. I know you do. You know that. Okay, yeah. I love when you say it. I do it if identical voices rises behind me. Wow, that was really high pitched. Holy shit. Chloe, Zoe, the twins. I quickly step aside to let the double hair tornado pass by me and rush to Emma. You'll never guess who we saw making out on the way here. I still can't believe it. What? No way. Yes. 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 With an exasperated sigh, I turn away and take out my laptop. I scan across the classroom that is slowly filling up around me. Some people clearly decided to stay in their bed this morning, but from the looks of it, there's still a good 30 or so students who bothered to show up. Is there? There's no one here. Not bad for morning class. I glance at Emma, who is still absorbed in an intense exchange of gossip with the twins. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Dan staring at me from the back row. This new professor must really be special for him to show up this early in the morning. An amber glint catches my eye. And Jessica, who just sat a little behind me in the back row, a very reasonable distance from Dan, though. Wes is giving her sideways glances. Is that why he's always with Dan? In the hope of getting closer to Jessica? My face naturally breaks into a smile as I open my latest notes on my laptop. The social sciences file contains about 10 particularly short sentences and a few words highlighted in bold. Yep, that's it. They say that I'm desperately relying on Emma's notes. Wait, now the midterms again? A slight nudge pulls me out of my thoughts. Righty, look. She's not the only one who looks stunned, so the whole class is hypnotized by what exactly? My eyes swerve toward the front of the class. Shit. The newcomer is sitting on the lecture desk in the most natural way. All eyes linger on her fine, even features, her bewitching smile, her jet black hair cascading down her shoulders, let alone her eyes. Eyes at once dark, sparkling, intimidating, and a possible night blue gleam dances in her gaze. Regular professor's loud voice rises sharply but only partially breaks the spell that is mesmerizing the whole class. Listen, this is Miss... Please call me Evelyn. The playful tone emphasizes the bubbly and perfectly controlled side of her voice. Evelyn is my new assistant and she'll be teaching most of my classes next semester. I'm counting on you to stay serious and focused. A few whispers rise from the back rows. That's the dream job! You hire some assistant and don't do shit! How do you become a professor? Please be quiet in the back. Good. I count on you to welcome Evelyn and show her the full extent of her capabilities. For those who have any! The professor punctuates his last remark with a glance in the direction of Dan, who grins with all his teeth. Wish you all a good day, and good luck to you, Evelyn. The sound of the door slamming shut tells me that the professor has left the room. It's only Evelyn and us now. Hello, everyone. Good morning, madam. Hey. A collective murmur rises from the rows of the room in greeting to the new arrival. Like I said, you can call me Evelyn, but please don't call me madam. I'm barely older than you. A light laugh escapes her lips and echoes off the large walls of the auditorium. I graduated last year, so I was a student like you until very recently. I hope we can bond to learn better together. I'm still very new to the job, so I'm counting on your goodwill. She can't say that, right? She can't say an emoji. The muffled echo of male voices erupts from the four corners of the auditorium. Of course, you can count on us, Professor Evelyn. If you need help, please let me know. Her amused eyes roam the auditorium and scrupulously probe each row. The room looks a little empty to me, but I think all the important people are here. What? This is a subtle way of saying she's going to take attendance? For a morning lecture? That would be unheard of. Evelyn comes down from the lecture desk with a small light hop. Well, I think it's time for us to start the class. And just on the right foot. By the way, what class am I supposed to teach you? Even Emma is left speechless. No one expected her to say that. Evelyn seems to revel in everyone's surprise. This is a social studies class. A large smile appears on Evelyn's face. Social studies, wonderful, that's my favourite class. Just like Emma. The new professor's gaze finally swivels to me. You, handsome, what's your name? Why do questions always come to me regardless of the professor? I am Riley, Madam Evelyn. Riley, could you please tell me where you were where you were in the course? I have absolutely no idea. Looking completely clueless, I give Emma a puppy-like dog look. She sighs in my utter dismay and glaring back at me with an angry look. What was she expecting? What, that I would end up to date with the course? I've given up on taking this class seriously a long time ago. Resigned, Emma whispers the answer in my ear. I understand a word she's saying and just repeat every syllable in a very rough voice. We were studying comprehensive sociology? Evelyn claps her hands, looking visibly excited. The analysis of the social world, fantastic. So relationships, right? Domination, power, differentiation? I nod without understanding a word she just said. I really need to start studying for real, or else Emma is going to yell at me again. Her cold look confirms my fears. She looks quite upset. Sorry. Thanks, Emma, for helping me. Perfect, let's start the class. I'm counting on all of you to behave. Oh boy. This is scary. We haven't even gotten to the horror yet, and this is still scary. Em was right. Evelyn is quite brilliant. Despite her visible lack of preparation for this specific class, she has been talking about comprehensive sociology for over 5 minutes with particular insight and sense of expertise. Given my insane lack of knowledge in social sciences, I am unable to say if what she says is actually relevant, but she definitely sounds very convincing. Wait, isn't that the Dr. Fox effect? Seems like I've actually learned a thing or two about sociology over the years. Take a look at the other students. Most of them behave exactly like usual. At least the ones I know. Emma takes perfectly organised notes on her little pink laptop. Zoe is having a quick manicure, her little nail polish jar unsteadily resting on her right knee. And Chloe tries by all means to catch the eye of a guy sitting a few rows down without much success so far. So wait, hold on, which one's Zoe and which one's Chloe? I don't know. As for Jessica, she's staring at a laptop screen far too intensely to be actually paying attention to the class. And what about me? No point in lying, I haven't taken a single note. A nudge on the elbow pulls me out of my daydream. I was listening, I swear! Emma looks at me warily, then finally smiles. Very funny, but take notes. Class started 5 minutes ago. With a sigh, I place my hands on the keyboard and start writing a few keywords from Emma's notes. Hey, do you guys have internet? Emma, I turn to a student sitting a bit further to my left. Oh boy, no internet. I haven't tried yet. Why? Can't connect to the Wi-Fi. That's horrible! How can you not connect to the bloody Wi-Fi? New whisper behind me this time. Wi-Fi is down. They must have changed the password last night. Only the school internet works. The university internet. Great. Aside from fascinating articles about the discovery of electricity and the biography of the college's dean, this thing is as empty as my fridge on a weeknight. Hey, log on to the internet chat. Everybody's trolling. I mean, with social networks and mobile phones, this kind of thing is literally useless. But now, since we don't have the actual internet anymore, find the address in a few clicks and manage to log on to the chat room. The messages are flooding. Open the small tab listing the people logged in. It's almost 30 people. Pink lady? Seriously, nobody can crack the new Wi-Fi password? It sucks so much. So fucking bored. Where did they even change it? It was working just fine yesterday. Why so serious? I got no signal on my phone. Yeah, I don't have any signal either. That's the same name. Interesting. Just me. Nobody can get any signal in this auditorium. It's always been like this. But why? This auditorium was built with new materials that are more insulating, but they'd also prevent any mobile signal. Get the fuck out. Shut up, he's saying something interesting. So we'll never get any signal in this room. Who's Wesley Wizard? I'm going through an impressive number of insulting messages in pure flood, saying how an online chat can become a garbage can in no time. We'll eventually, thanks to the deep indoor technology that allows signals to pass through very thick walls, but it's expensive for mobile network operators to install. How do you know all this? It's Wes, Dan's friend. His mum works for a telecom operator, so he knows a lot about this stuff. Shut the fuck up! With the chat being anonymous, it's just so easy to troll. Welcome to the absurdity of online chatting. I glance over at Emma, still focused on her notes that now fill an entire page. Has Evelyn talked that much already? I feel Emma's incensed look on my face. She hates it when I slack off, and I look up at Evelyn again. I find this almost magical bluish glow dancing in her dark eyes. I stiffen slightly as Emma's hand shakes my shoulder. Take notes! Hurry up! I stifle a yawn and look down at the clock. Morning break won't happen anytime soon. End of class? Question mark. We're done with this chapter. Hope it wasn't too boring. An unusual rising tide of voices spreads through the rows. That was perfect, Evelyn! Keep talking, please! Could you please repeat the last part? Thank you all, you are so kind. I've talked so much, now it's question time. What do you mean questions? Wait, I didn't pay any attention. Who can tell me what the Barnum effect is? A few hands go up, including Emma's and Dan's. You, next to Riley. Emma straightens up slightly in her chair. It's the principle used for personality tests or horoscopes. People are flattered by a speech that valorizes them, which leads them to find inaccurate comments about their own personality relevant. Evelyn quickly claps both her hands. Exactly, that's exactly right. What's your name? Emma hesitates for a moment, surprised by this teacher's unusual familiarity with her students. Emma? That's perfect, Emma. Read any personality test, you'll always find a subtle mix of flattering statements generic enough to fit the majority. Once convinced that the test results represent who you are, you will become more likely to accept completely false statements about your own personality. This is the power of the Barnum effect. Evelyn, you are the best professor in the world. Evelyn bursts into a crystalline laugh. Sorry, but flattery needs at least a little bit of subtlety, otherwise it doesn't work. Let's see, who can tell me about the bystander effect? It's a classic that you've already faced in real life. Let's go up again. No, it's always the same people answering. I'll pick someone this time. She moves slowly across the stage in search for her prey, one hand brushing the desk as she continues to walk. You, over there, what's your name? Lucas, ma'am. Evelyn. The guy named Lucas, I've probably talked to him twice in my life, is casually sitting in an obvious attempt to appear cool and relaxed. So Lucas, do you know what the bystander effect is? Lucas' smile widens. It's when you're a bystander to a significant event that you're able to replicate afterwards with accuracy. For example, I was able to date a very talented As a result, now I can pull off some amazing tricks. He includes his answer with a wink that he probably believes to be the most charming in the world. What the fuck? It was dorky, vulgar, and probably off topic. What a douche. You're bad. We're lucky if he just gets kicked out of class. I'm surprised everyone continues to smile in a perfectly natural way. Does not surprise me. After all, you look like you belong to the gifted type. It's up to you to find out. What the fucking shit? Evelyn's smile widens. Oh, but I already know better than anyone. Huh? Unfortunately, that wasn't the right answer. Blinding flash of light fills the entire room for a split second, immediately followed by a dull crack. My eyes instinctively closed at the sunlight assault. The classroom is now dead silent. Huh? What the fuck? When I finally managed to open my eyes for good, I find myself facing a vision of horror. Oh shit, man! Oh god! Evelyn's elegantly seated on the table right in front of Lucas, smiling, terrifying. In front of her, Lucas stares dazedly at the long blue spear that crosses his chest. There is blood absolutely everywhere. Oh, it went through him! Although that hole doesn't look big enough to have had this entire thing go through, but... yeah, okay. The eyes widened. Lucas tries to articulate some words, but only a bubble of blood springs from his lips and splashes a little more on his completely soiled clothes. The blue spear seems to glow with a supernatural and devious gleam, as if animated by a will of its own. Evelyn keeps her eyes riveted on Lucas's face, whose life is rapidly slipping away. Feels like time stays frozen for an eternity. My brain, able to process the images I am witnessing, can no longer reason rationally. Shit. Lucas covered in blood. Evelyn. The magic spear. I'm dreaming. A nightmare. That's impossible! I barely managed to hear the scream that tears through the surrounding silence. The paralysis that had gripped the entire room disappears all at once as if by magic. A very large panic begins, with half of the students taking cover under the tables, while the other half rushes to the door. Door located at the other end of the room from my seat. Fuck! Emma turns to me, her face livid. Without thinking, I pull her against me and tip backwards so that our bodies are under the table. Protection is purely symbolic, but what more can I do? While my brain is screaming at me to think of a way to get to the door, my gaze goes back to Evelyn. Still smiling, she gently caresses the handle of the spear without seeming in the least disturbed by the agitation around her. Her medallion glows with the pulsing of the magic spear, which seems to be absorbing the life of her unfortunate victim. It seems that Lucas is living his last moments. His face becomes more and more livid with each passing second, and his eyes take on a grey colour specific to dead corpses. A frightful nausea invades me. I pull Emma a little tighter against me and force her head to turn towards my chest in a futile attempt to spare her from this macabre vision. In spite of the ambient rush, a new shrill scream followed by a pestilential odour invades the room that silences all the other noises. As I try to find a proper vision angle without exposing myself unnecessarily, I manage to see a flaming mass collapsing on the floor just in front of the door. Don't tell me! Another student? No! The door is trapped! The students amassed near the door are all caught up in a primal panic. A tremendous stampede ensues. The crowd divided by the desire to get as far away as possible from the two corpses, that of Lucas and another unfortunate soul who was burnt alive. Evelyn's bubbly voice rises from the center stage as if she had teleported again from the back rows where Lucas's corpse still lies. No, 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 the class is not over. At these words, all the students froze and a new icy silence invaded the room. Evelyn's sharp smile lights up her face, which strangely no longer bears any trace of Lucas's blood. If you don't hurry back to your seats, I will have to punish you too. After a few interminable seconds, the message finally sinks in, clear as blood. Punishment. Death. New panic sets in. Most of the students rush to their relative safety of the tables, while a handful remain motionless near the door, totally paralyzed by fear. Everyone gazes at these death row inmates with a delighted expression. Oh, bad students. One of the three students still standing faints, her face maddened. The second lays eyes on the totally charred corpse and bends over to vomit profusely. The third, his limbs shaking all over, seems to have completely lost the control of his own body. Evelyn slowly approaches the door, her eyes riveted on the two girls on the ground. Poor thing, she's fainted. What kind of teacher would I be if I punished a student with anemia? Her light-hearted laughter is in total contrast to the seriousness of the situation. As for her, Evelyn takes a small step to the side to avoid the puddle of vomit. I'm sorry, but eating in class is forbidden. That's how you mess up the room. With a nonchalant gesture, she extends two fingers in the direction of the unfortunate girl, still on her knees and agitated by sporadic retching. Bam! New flash of light, blue this time. The student collapses totally on her vomit in a big spray of blood. Holy crap! Oh my, look how dirty she is. I hate dirty people. The last student, still standing, tries to move away, but his legs seem to no longer obey the movements intimated by his hips. He just managed to lean against the wall to avoid falling. Evelyn raises her eyes full of malice in this direction. Why aren't you sitting in your seat? The class has started already, right? The unfortunate guy opens his mouth like a fish out of water and painfully manages to squeeze a few words. I is not a valid answer, I'm sorry. Evelyn gives him a ravaging little wink, then quickly waves her left hand in his direction. Crack! New flash of light followed by a dull cracking sound. A long blue spear, identical to the one that pierced Lucas, goes through the student's chest and literally pins him against the wall. Contrary to Lucas, death must have been instantaneous. The student does not emit any rattle and his inert head falls to one side in a frightening angle. Looking satisfied, Evelyn quickly contemplates her work, then returns to the desk while clapping her hands. Well, I guess we can resume the class. She runs a delicate hand through her long hair. I think I was just asking some questions. Alright, just a few more questions, then we'll start a new chapter. Let's see. Evelyn sweeps the room with her eyes. All the students have taken shelter under the tables, just like Emma and me. Perfectly useless shelter, inasmuch as the underside of the tables is visible from the board. It's going to be difficult for you to take notes, crouching like that on the floor. Despite her enchanting smile, an evil glint gleams in her eyes as she opens her mouth again. If you don't take notes, I'll have to consider you absent. That is a creepy-ass smile. The signal's clear. Obey or die. The students slowly stand up and reluctantly sit back in their seats in dead silence. Despite my heart beating way too fast to take the risk of standing up as well, Emma still in my arms. My will is close to breaking when Emma raises her big doe eyes to me, filled with tears. Emma, trust me. My voice is only a whisper, but she nods and lets my arms guide her. I sit her back down in the seat next to mine, then sit down as well. Her morbidly livid face doesn't let me forget the nausea rumbling deep in my guts. This is a nightmare, a pure nightmare. I slowly turn my head towards Evelyn, praying not to meet her eyes. With a big smile on her face, she is making sure that everyone is seated properly. A particularly sickening smell of burning flesh finally reaches my nostrils. I glance at the black carcass lying on the floor near the door. Just imagining that it is the corpse of another human being makes me want to regurgitate the contents of my stomach. No way. Magic. Magic doesn't exist. No such thing as teachers killing students in the classroom. Not in my life, not in my very average, very basic student life. That's impossible! Emma's small hand squeezes mine. Despite her shaking, the touch of her soft skin managed to calm my emotions slightly, enough to bring me back to my senses. I need to be rational, control my emotions, survive. We must survive. Evelyn can kill us in the blink of an eye. She's using magic or a super-powered weapon from the future. Whatever, doesn't matter. The facts are simple. We're totally powerless against it. So we have to trick it, to understand her motives, the rules that underlie her morbid game. Turn them against her, like in a video game. Close my eyes, try to concentrate more without success. Don't mean idiot. Not a video game. There are no rules, no solutions, no escape. Open my eyes again and meet Evelyn's gaze. My blood runs through my veins. Did she just wink at me? Her intention immediately shifts to the other side of the room, but the uneasy feeling persists. Am I next? My swallowing becomes very difficult, as if my throat has become totally knotted. I'm going to die, like Lucas, like the others. We are all going to die. Eyes freeze on the door to the room. The only way we can escape. The only way to survive. A door. Trapped. A door that condemns the one who puts his hand on it to die by fire. My breath is getting shorter and shorter as I curl up slightly in my seat. Can't get out anymore. Trapped. Condemned. Is everyone seated? Good. Let's get back to the questions. Been a bit longer. I have a feeling you're not in a very talkative mood, so I guess I'll have to pick someone again. Evelyn slowly ascends the central staircase, her hand gently brushing the surface of the tables as she moves. The students closest to her passage cower in vain, hoping to become invisible, all the while avoiding moving too much so as not to attract the attention of our tormentor. Mentor. Yeah, I get that. That's funny. As everyone passes by our row, Emma leans slightly towards me to get as far away from her as possible, a look of terror on her face. Force my gaze to stay focused in front of me, despite the fear of being hit by a magical projectile from the stairs to my right. A barely audible sigh of relief escapes my lips as I hear Evelyn's footsteps move away from us. She stops a few rows up, both her hands patting the table in the unlucky row with an impatient look. Tell me, what's your name? Slowing carefully, I turn my head to catch a glimpse of the unfortunate victim out of the corner of my eye, sitting just a row away from Dan. That guy, it's Matt, Zoe's ex. His usual self-confidence seems to have completely disappeared. His shut-up, empty eyes, he is unable to meet the glance of Evelyn, nor even to answer the question asked. Matt has had a slight cry when Evelyn starts to move, convinced of his imminent death. To my surprise, she simply sits down in the seat next to him and leans her face toward him. Matt keeps his head turned toward the wall as if paralysed by fear. Can't help but feel a certain cowardly relief. Matt is next on the list, not me. Poor guy. That's not me. Won't tell me your name? That's too bad. Matt's voice is barely audible. Matt. Evelyn smiles slightly. Well, Matt, thanks for being a volunteer. Matt swallows. As if he was a volunteer, she picked him herself. There was a microsociology question regarding the family. Evelyn's smile, which initially seemed warm to me, now appears purely cruel. When a couple is expecting a child, who should make the decisions? Matt manages to omit an answer, which is already a grave feat, considering the perilous situation he finds himself in. The mother? Evelyn raises an eyebrow. Only the mother? That's interesting. The entire class holds its breath. But does that mean that the father has no say in it, ever? Face shoving the Matt answers in a surprisingly firm voice. Both. It's both. Both. That's very interesting. Evelyn's smile grows more and more crooked. But you can't change your answer afterwards. It's like cheating. Matt abruptly turns to Evelyn, perpetual panic in his eyes. Wait, Splash. A short dagger adorned with cabalistic engravings springs from Evelyn's outstretched hand and comes crashing down Matt's throat with a particularly sickening sound. The latter hopelessly brings his hands to his throat, blood spitting out everywhere. He ends up collapsing against the table in a frightful rattle. Evelyn contemplates her macabre work with a satisfied air, her medallion sparkling with a blue supernatural glare. That did not sound like a male student. Come on. A few howls echo through the room. I squeeze Emma's hand tightly, hoping that she will manage to suppress any sound. Last thing we need right now is to attract everyone's attention. I think we'll stop the question part for now. Her perky look is perfectly surreal, considering the murder she just committed in cold blood. This woman is evil. A witch. She's a witch. Powerful. Cruel. Hope you'll listen more carefully from now on. Otherwise you'll keep giving me the wrong answers. Evelyn quickly walks back down the stairs toward the board and turns back to the class. I expect you all to take notes seriously. Can't believe it. Is she going to resume the class like nothing happened? Now, let's talk about sociology. Without the slightest regard for the various corpses littering the room, Evelyn begins to recite a sociology lecture before the simultaneously frightened and bewildered eyes of the still living students. I feel like you were completely asleep this morning. Come on, take notes. All of the students are now aware that each of her recommendations carries with it a threat of imminent death. As a result, I hear a number of hands timidly tapping on keyboards, beginning with Emma's, on whose face I read deep terror. With a pleading look, she tells me to imitate her to avoid the witch's wrath, which would kill Lucas and Matt, one who will probably kill us all by the end of the day. With trembling hands, I barely managed to unlock my laptop. The chat window appears before me, flooded with new messages. She uses magic! This is a nightmare. I'm having a nightmare. I just want to wake up. I'm in a nightmare. We're all in a nightmare! Don't just think it's magic. That's impossible! She's a witch! Let's go fuck shit up. She can kill us all with one look. I still can't get any signal. Someone call 911. We still have internet. It's because of her, it's her magic. We're gonna die. She killed Matt. You mad, bro? I'm about to throw up. But she'll kill me if she hears me. We can kill her if we all go together. Who's with me? We're all gonna die, idiot! She's magic. We can't do anything. I don't want to die. Please save me. Please, please. Stuck in the Matrix. I wonder if that guy's stuck in the Matrix, eh? Focus. There's got to be a way out of this. Dan, womanizer. Yeah, let's go and kill her. She won't have time to get us all. I don't want to die. You try that on your own. I'm saying this to Lucas. The smell is unbearable. Please help me. Save me, please. My parents are rich. Please, someone save me. We're on this together, you moron. Come down. We'll come up with a plan. We need to exchange the answers to the questions on this chat so we don't die. We're all going to die anyway. Everybody sit still or you'll die. We just have to sit here and pretend to take notes. It's divine punishment. It's because you are all sinners. Shut up! It's all your fault. You're a sinner too, so shut up. We are fucked! A divine punishment? Maybe that's what it is after all. A loud vomit echoes around the room. The girl sitting next to Lucas's corpse is finally cracked. I take a quick look at Evelyn. She continues her lecture without caring about the singing noise. All of those concepts bring us back to the decision-making process that she should already be familiar with. Were you the one who was afraid you'd die if you threw up? She spared you. Maybe she kills randomly? She's a witch. She could kill anyone! I don't know. I mean, you know that Lucas was a bit... Lucas was my friend. He was a huge asshole who abused girls. That's pure bullshit. This story it was true? He's a sinner! Repent or you will all die! I've heard about this. Of course, it's true. I know one of his victims. Heard he always uses the same method. He picks up a shy girl, she comes to his room, and he... Well, it doesn't necessarily imply that she didn't agree. I know a girl who didn't. He's the worst trash. He did several victims in this university. This is no news. Shut up! If that was true, they would have told the cops. No, that's why he picked shy loner girls. It's much harder for them to go to the police. Besides, it's unbearable to even tell anyone about the details. I also know a girl who was abused by Lucas. All the girls in our year know he is super dangerous. So true. Some of his victims are from other years. Lucas may have been an asshole, but how does this help us in any way? Which is going to kill us all. She's going to start asking questions again very soon. Yeah, the witch is going to kill us, like she killed Matt. I know Matt. He wasn't much of a saint either. Don't you dare say that Matt deserved to die. Matt was abusing girls? I've known him for years. He would never do that. I don't think he did that kind of thing, but I heard about a messed up story of him. He had a one-night stand with a girl who got pregnant, and he made her have an abortion. So what? Matt didn't do anything wrong. She made the decision to abort. Despite the visceral fear that refuses to leave my body, I try to concentrate on the last exchanges. Matt forced a girl he slept with to have an abortion. This reminds me of something. The memory of the exchange between Matt and Evelyn just before his death suddenly flashes back to me. And I'm just going to save the game. When a couple is expecting a child who should make decisions. Evelyn, she asked Matt that question, a very specific question, for Matt. Does that mean she knew? A brief moment of lucidity, I tried to gather my thoughts. Evelyn is a demon, a witch, a psychopath. She can kill us all with the snap of her fingers, and yet she follows a very specific plan. She gives orders, terrifies us, asks us questions, so a voice in my head starts to grow louder. What if she didn't kill randomly? I meant to run down the casualty list. Lucas seems like he was abusing girls. People might say he even deserves what he got. He's someone punishable. Matt, he forced a girl to have an abortion, and the behaviour Evelyn would want to punish, and she might consider that he was gaslighting the girl to get what he wanted, regardless of the girl's well-being. Yet he answered that the mother should be the one to make decisions. Do you suspect that Evelyn knew? Do you sense that this question was directly aimed at him, regarding this very specific event? Evelyn didn't seem to expect any particular answer. Actually, I don't know if there really is a good answer to such a vague question. But then, was it a trick question? Was the question designed to psychologically torture him before killing him for good, to punish him for his behaviour? Let's start again. Lucas and Matt may have been punished for their behaviour toward the girls. What about the other deaths? The one who died by the fire while trying to open the door? The girl who was killed while vomiting on the floor, unable to move? The one who was left paralysed standing by the door? No, class is not over. I'm sorry, but eating is not allowed in class. That's how you mess up the room. is not a valid excuse. Sorry. Did they die because they didn't follow the rules imposed by Evelyn? What would those rules be? If you don't go back to your seat, I'll have to punish you too. Is everyone seated? Good, let's get back to the questions. I expect you to take notes seriously. Would it be enough to be a good obedient student to survive? Lucas and Matt died after being questioned directly. In other words, they probably had no hope of survival. Evelyn wanted them dead. As for the others, they were not interrogated. They died because they did not obey the rules. They were not seated, they did not follow the class. They tried to leave the room in the middle of the class. I shake my head to try to give myself some hope. I'm sure my theory holds up. Once Evelyn is done punishing all the students guilty of punishable behaviour, she will spare the others. The others. Once you can follow the rules until the end of the class. I need to share this with the others so that there are no more casualties. I'm just about to write in the chat when Evelyn lets out a loud exclamation. Oh, I almost forgot a little question. Anthony freezes if paralysed by an unearthly cold embrace. Emma turns to me, looking even more terrified than before. Squeeze her hand with all my strength and utter a few words on my birth. You're safe. She should be in no danger. Shaking notes, she's listening to the lecture. She's a very good student. She is a girl. Evelyn seems to only punish guys guilty of terrible behaviour toward girls. Pray that my theory is correct. I think I should be right. I'm a normal guy. And yet, why am I shaking make believe? You there, what's your name? Beth, I look up with devastated eyes at Evelyn, who was staring at someone across the room. Me? Dead silence. All the students turned to the unfortunate girl. Recognise her, it's Lucy, a rather loner girl in the class. Evelyn simply nods with a broad smile, arms leaning against the desk near the board. The brief relief of knowing I'm safe is immediately replaced by frustration at the inconsistency of the choice of the new victim. Why is she singling out a girl? Unless she's not planning to kill her? Maybe everyone just wants to psychologically torture us into thinking she's going to kill everyone. Maybe she'll spare this girl and kill the next student she asks the question to. Next one. That could be me! Claire. My name is Claire. I frown. What is she doing? Her name is Lucy. And finds out she's lying to her. Claire? That's a pretty name. Lisa's face is almost morbidly pale, but she manages to hold Evelyn's gaze without blinking. I thought that the name we're given at birth, the starting point of our great injustice, and to choose ourselves. What do you think, Claire? She knows. Knows that Lucy lied to her, she knows everything. Lucy is doomed. Yes, you're right. I'm always right, no need to mention it. And the smile widens, and she bursts out laughing. I'm kidding, of course, nobody's perfect. Lucy's face breaks down as Evelyn walks up the stairs toward the row where her new victim is sitting. This psychological torture is unbearable, including for us bystanders. Does Evelyn plan to kill her, or does she just want to terrorize her? So, Claire, a question for you about responsibility. I resign myself to the obvious. Lucy is going to die. This person who distributes illegal content on the internet guilty even if he or she did not participate in the making of that content themselves? Lucy bursts into tears in response to this oddly specific question. Please, I didn't know. I thought they were always consenting, I swear. Evelyn stares condescendingly at Lucy, half leaning over her. The unearthly glow of her medallion gleams on the tear-streaked face of the helpless victim. Please spare me, I'm so sorry. Please, please! Evelyn's gaze grows a little softer. Lucy, I'm sorry to see you so desperate. Lucy raises her pleading eyes. But your answer is off topic. With a simple gesture, Evelyn causes a small bluish mist to appear and ripple around Lucy's body. The latter begins to tremble so violently that her seat hammers the metal railing that serves as its support in a sonorous clacking. Clack, 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 clack. The shaking stops after a few seconds, and with a dull thud, Lucy's head falls against the table, her face turned in my direction. A fresh wave of nausea seizes me. Blood has abundantly spurted from her eyes and mouth during her agony. With a snap of fingers, Evelyn clears the magical mist and walks back down to the podium, with a mysterious smile on her face. Remember, responsibility is one of the must-have sociological studies in the program. Once back by her desk, Evelyn continues the class as if nothing had happened. Nothing in her appearance betrays the murder she had just perpetrated. Not her immaculate clothes, not her impeccably coiffed hair, not her medallion, which has returned to its usual hue. Don't forget to take notes, this is important. I heard the sound of someone puking from across the room, but I heard no screams. Most of the students go back to tapping away fervently at their keyboards, looking terrified. Everyone also targets girls. No one is safe. Emma, I love you. I whisper these words without taking my eyes off my screen, terrified of attracting Evelyn's attention. Emma simply squeezes my hand with unusual strength. In the corner of my eye, I see a few tears falling on the keyboard as she continues to take notes. I figure out the rules of this sadistic, perverted game. I would save Emma. I close my eyes and try to recall the details of the scene despite the gagging in my stomach. Evelyn asked a very specific question again, and Lucy didn't react in her usual way. As if she knew exactly what it was about. Please, I didn't know. I thought they were always consenting. I swear. Lucy, she was guilty. She admitted her guilt. Understood that Evelyn had targeted her for a reason. Evelyn's criterion for guilt would simply be harming other girls regardless of the gender of the perpetrator. I logged back into the chat room at full speed to know more about Lucy's story. Did anyone know what Lucy was talking about? Who are the non-consenting people? We're gonna die! She's a sinner too! Repent, everyone! This guy seemed to have lost his mind, but I feel like his sinner theory is somehow kind of right. Need to confirm it with Lucy's story. Just rumors, but I heard she was collecting sex tapes from some students and reselling them to porn websites. I guess in a lot of the cases the girls didn't even know they were being filmed. Never checked online though. It's not a rumor, it's true. She even admitted it to herself. Not sure if this is related, but I've seen videos of Lucas on porn websites. Same. +1. Not just Lucas, by the way. There are a few other girls from this university who had videos of them having sex with a lot of different girls. Oh, guys, rather. Would that mean that Lucy had a deal with these guys? That would explain Evelyn's question about responsibility. But how could she know something like that? She's a witch! She knows everything! We're gonna die, it's only a matter of time. My theory seems to be confirmed. There are two types of victims, the punished and the disobedient. The punished are targeted directly through Evelyn's questions, which allows her to remind them of their misdeeds before killing them. They are guilty of having carried out terrible acts, supposedly on girls. In other words, those who didn't do any evil thing have nothing to fear in principle. As for the disobedient, it can be anyone. The moment you disobey Evelyn's rules, you have a target on your head. Supposedly, it will be enough to pretend to be a good student and to obey her orders when she gives them. Supposedly. I shake my head. There are too many holes in my reasoning, too many grey areas. It's the only lead I have. This could save lives, and you tell everyone. Look, I don't think she's randomly targeting her victims. Shut up! Matt and Seth die, not like this. Lucas, Matt, now Lucy. Every time she asks a question, she knows something morally wrong her victims did. Exactly, she only targets sinners. You condemned us all, you fuckers! What's your deal, Riley? You're saying that you agree with the other sicko here? It's a bit more complicated. Basically, Evelyn kills people who she thinks have done something terrible. She asks them a question with no good answer and she kills them. And Alicia? She killed her while she collapsed on the floor vomiting. That's because in addition to her sadistic justice, Evelyn also kills people who don't obey the rules, like those who stood by the door despite her threat. You're on her side or what? It's their fault they were killed by that crazy bitch? They're paralyzed with fear. He's on her side for sure. What's with the bullshit rules? If no one knows them, it just means she's killing blindly. It's a bullshit excuse to kill us like pigs. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. She just kills for fun. She's a witch. She just wants to sacrifice us to invoke an ancient demon on Earth. Shit. I underestimated the difficulty of sharing ideas online. Nobody's really listening to me. A very light tap on my back almost makes me scream in surprise. I turn around and see Jessica, Dan, and Wes on the seats right behind me. Hey, it's not that dumb, your theory. Jessica is careful to keep her voice low. Despite the relative distance between us and the board, and thus Evelyn, there's no telling how much she can hear us. What are you doing here? You're insane. Why would you move from your seats? It's okay. She's focused on writing. Look. I quickly turn back to Evelyn and see with relief that she is still facing the board, writing sociological concepts that sound completely unfamiliar to me. Seems like she can't hear us, so we should be fine. Emma joins the discussion. Righty, I think your theory makes sense, but... Yeah, it's not stupid, but we don't know how to get out of here. More whispers get our attention. Righty, are you sure about your theory? How do you explain that the witch speared Rose? She was with the others near the door, though. I catch a glimpse of the twins who have moved closer and are now almost glued to Emma. Rose, the one who passed out on the floor? The twins nodded, their heads perfectly in sync. That's what I was going to say. Some details I still don't understand at all. I glance back at Evelyn in fear again. She quietly continues to write a rather dense lecture on the board, clearly unbothered by our whispers. I try to remember the scene. Rose. That's consistent with what Rosie says. Rose passed down, so she didn't obey the rules. She couldn't obey the rules. What the hell are you talking about? The witch. She asked everyone to go sit down. That was the rule. Go back to your seat. I mean, we're in danger since we switched places? I don't think so. Since the matter started, I've changed seats 3 times and still haven't been targeted. As long as you stay seated, I think she's satisfied. Why didn't you change the seat 3 times? Jessica looked at Dan like she's talking to a child. To get me closer to you so we can come up with a plan, you idiot. But to get back to Rose, that doesn't add up. She killed Alicia, who was throwing up. She couldn't get back to her seat either. The scene suddenly comes back to her mind. Poor thing, she fainted. What kind of teacher would I be if I punished a student with anemia? As for her, I'm sorry, but eating is allowed in the class. That's how you make the room dirty. The rules to behave in class. Remember, she said she couldn't punish someone with anemia, so she couldn't kill Rose. She spares someone who has anemia, but she punishes someone who can't control their gut when facing dead corpses? That's complete bullshit! She made it clear that no eating was allowed in class, even though she knew full well that Alicia was throwing up because of the situation, and not because of her breakfast. Her reasoning is particularly sick for sure. But since then, there have been plenty of other students who throw up and are still alive. Jessica fixes Emma with an icy stare. They were in their seats, which was the main rule. Go back to your seats. They're completely twisted. If she was throwing up, she couldn't go back to her seat. Yeah, it just shows how sadistic she is. If you know you can't hold your guts in, then you shouldn't have headed for the door. But Rose fainted. According to your twisted reasoning, she too should have stayed in her place if she knew she couldn't stand. A massage making temples. Don't know. Maybe she sees anemia as a potentially related poor health as so something we don't choose. You don't choose to vomit. Maybe it's not so much a matter of infliction as of consequence. When you vomit, you're still conscious, even if your moving is very delicate. You tell them to kill people who won't see death coming at them. She is the worst kind of sadist. She insists on following the rules normally imposed by a teacher. A teacher? You thought she was a teacher? She's not here to teach us anything. She's here to kill. We know all that. Freddy's theory is that she's playing teacher to catch us off guard on very simple rules of behaviour that everyone knows, apply to a morbid supernatural situation. The more she's sure everyone will make mistakes. That's disgustingly sadistic, but it seems to fit her personality well. Exactly. Look, I don't know where her supernatural powers come from, nor do I know why we're stuck in such a nightmare. However, I get the impression that she's trying to punish certain students guilty of behaviour deemed harmful. Dan raises his voice slightly despite the risks. What do you mean exactly? She's playing the vigilante? That's your theory? So all the guys who are not perfect have to die? Guys, or girls, it seems. I don't care, you're saying I deserve to die? Emma turns back to Evelyn, looking very concerned. Dan, I'm begging you, keep your voice down. Dan, we don't make the rules, I just feel like... I've spent my life in your bullshit theory, that's what you're saying. You're safe because you're the nice little boyfriend of a nice little girl. Jessica slaps the back of his head. We told you to shut up! Stop freaking out, we're all in this together. Dan stares murderously at Jessica, but eventually regains his composure. We're just trying to figure out that the switch's motives to maybe save some lives, nothing more. Dan looks unconvinced. Yeah, to save your lives? What? Wait, why are you convinced that Evelyn is going to come after you? Don't tell me you did the terrible things to a girl. Dan turns sharply to me. Of course not, I'm not a freak. Jessica raises her eyebrows. Of course not, I have principles. Good for you. But then, why do you feel so threatened? If she's indeed seeking revenge on anyone who's hurt a girl in the past, then pauses staring into space. I do anything atrocious like Lucas. I'm not exactly the monogamous type, you know me. So I've been with a lot of girls in a relationship. Single, it didn't matter to me. It probably caused a lot of breakups, and sometimes for couples who were pretty serious. Not that serious, considering these girls were still willing to sleep with a guy like you. I'm not saying I'm super proud of it, but it's not like it's against the law, and I may not be the only one at fault. It takes two to cheat, right? I was surprised you know that. That still makes me a guy with reprehensible behaviour. Call it morals, values, or anything. If it fits into our rules, I'm doomed. You're going to bleed me dry for acting like this. On the other hand, if you really did act like trash... Emma glares at Chloe. Don't think like that. No one deserves to die for that. Jessica gives Chloe the coldest look I've ever seen. You're a pro-death penalty, right? Watching you bad guys die in front of you makes you happy. Doesn't make you feel better about your own little life. Chloe looks down at the floor, but Zoe immediately flies into her rescue. The twins have always been extremely close and supportive of each other. That's not what she meant. No one would stand to die, but if Riley's theory is right, that's pretty reassuring, right? It means there's real hope for some of the students. The good students, right? Shall I make him croak as quickly as possible to help you get out? No, that's not what you meant, right? But you shut up instead, what do you think? Dan, calm down. Right now the witch is only targeting people who have actually done horrible things. There's nothing whether she'll actually start targeting minor sins like cheating on someone. If so, pretty much everything will be on the death row, not just you. Dan's shell begins to crack and I begin to detect signs of fear in his face. Wow, you just had to go and say that, didn't you? Fear of being next in line. Place my hand on his arm. I have nothing to offer him but my empathy and my fear. Jessica's right. If she starts killing over little mistakes, then we're all doomed. No one is perfect. Visibly on the verge of tears, Dan looks at me, shaking his head. Alright, back to the main topic. How is she smiling in this? No one else is smiling. Horrified. Horrified. Anxious. Concerned. Happy. How about we use this theory to get out of here? Yeah, we have to find a loophole in the rules. There's got to be one. I keep to myself my fear that any possible loophole, if there is one, could have been left unknowingly for Evelyn to trap us, to kill us in any trace of hope even more cruelly. Wes speaks up. I forgot he was here too. What if someone pure tried to open the door? Jessica glances at him. Haven't you been listening? Anyone who doesn't follow the rules gets killed too, pure or not. Wes shakes his head, an unusually serious look on his face. No, that's a corollary of Riley's theory. This theory is just that Evelyn targets impure students when she asks questions, which have been true so far. So what? The others hadn't done anything. That we don't know. You see yourself. Maybe it's perfect. Maybe all those who have died so far had something to blame. including the guy who tried to open the door. And maybe that's why he was burnt alive. Maybe he was a sinner too. A painfully suppressed new shudder, burnt alive, probably the worst kind of death. Your theory is based on untested assumptions. Like Riley's, if you're right, then since no one's perfect, we're doomed, all of us. So we have nothing to lose by trying anything, including my theory. Dan stares at Wes with the pleading look of one who is willing to do anything to survive. Wes, what do you suggest? It's very simple. I think there are pure and impure students by Evelyn's standards. The pure are not supposed to die, while the others are definitely doomed. As a result, all you have to do is send someone pure to open the door. The worst one will want to kill them, and we'll have a real escape route. And while she's busy killing the next being pure one on the list, we can all try to escape altogether. Since there will be pure people in the crowd, she won't be able to kill indiscriminately, which will leave the possibility for some of the impure ones to get out alive. Yeah, that's not so dumb. Like you said, we don't have anything to lose. Stupid theory, we're going to die for sure. This theory is even more fictitious than mine. Pure delirium with childish naivety. As if the key to our survival could rest on something so simple, so black and white. And yet it's tempting to cling to the slightest hint of hope. However, illusory and ridiculous. I frown. The idea that there really are pure people doesn't make sense. No one is blameless. The plan doesn't make sense. That said, perhaps not everything is to be discarded. This theory is based on a total contradiction. Nobody would instinctively want to leave the room calmly. That's exactly what it could actually work. It could be twisted enough to surprise Evelyn. We'll go along with her sadism. So, so the plan is for this game, right? So this game has 4 endings. I know that it has 4 endings. Haven't seen anything about the game or how to get the endings, but there are 4 endings. Which I will try and get eventually, but so the first playthrough, I'm going to get the first ending that I get. Right, and then after that, with all the narrating and stuff, after that I'll do another playthrough, but that time I'm just going to skip through all the dialogue, because I've already seen it, and just click different options. That's what we're going to do. Anyway, maybe she planned to tell the very last survival that all he had to do to survive was to leave the room quietly. That's definitely something she could have planned. What if we forget about this purity thing? What if it wasn't enough for someone to simply walk out very quietly, as they would during a normal class? After all, we're allowed to go to the bathroom, usually. Jessica looks at me with a condescending sigh. A normal class, right. Right, you're not pretending to see the dead bodies around us. Precisely. To allow something so simple, something that no one would dare do in such a context, would be the height of sadism. Precisely a rule Evelyn could invent, because no one would dare. Yeah, it makes sense, it's coherent. It's anything but coherent. It's based on nothing but pure, desperate speculation. But, in a situation as impossible as ours, I'm convinced that we need to think differently, counterintuitively. Calm down, there's just one issue with this brilliant plan of yours. Jessica says her big eyes and mine. The brave chosen one who will test your wonderfully disruptive theory. Are you talking about yourself? I swallow hard. Risking your life on such a crazy bet. I sigh in annoyance. If Dan is convinced, that means it's a plan worthy of a kindergartner. In short, something you definitely shouldn't do. You're right. It's stupid, forget what I said. Wes fixes me with a particularly intense stare. No, just because you're not the right person to execute the plan doesn't make it wrong. It's not about courage, it's about survival. For that, you have to pick the right person. You only get one try to try this again. So we choose the most blameless, pure person, someone who will have the best chance of not being targeted by the witch. A serious, kind-like person who is above suspicion. Wes turns his gaze to Emma. Yeah, if it was gonna give me a selection of all 6, I would have chosen Emma as well. Yeah. My mind's about to explode. You little shit! You want Emma to sacrifice herself to save your miserable life? No, don't, you idiot! Emma keeps her eyes glued to Wes, looking stunned. Wes, you're crazy. We can't. I'd rather see all of us die in excruciating pain than to sacrifice Emma on the basis of a completely fucked up assumption. Wes, you coward! Why don't you do it yourself? I told you we need to pick someone as pure as possible. I only get one chance. Emma, I know what I'm asking of you, but you're checking off all the boxes. Fuck you! Emma interrupts me by putting her hand over my mouth. Riley, stop. You'll get us killed, please. I have summoned all my strength that I can to keep my composure. There's no way. Emma is sacrificing herself. We'd rather have us all die than give a small chance of survival to others. I had to snap his twiggy little neck when Emma puts her hand on my arm, looking pleadingly. Close my mouth with a loud sigh. Don't touch Emma, not one finger. Long silence. The only sounds I hear are Evelyn's distant voice still reciting the lecture, and the mechanical noise of computer keyboards all around us. Eventually, the eyes converge on Jessica, who stares at Emma with a dark look as usual. If she dares. I think it's a shitty plan. fact, way too risky. It has no basis, in fact. And besides, a slightly relieved look on her face. Even though I would never have let them do it, it's easier that West stays completely isolated. This filthy coward. According to Riley's theory, we have to have some time left before we are killed, provided we obey the rules. Time we can use to find a loophole. I agree. Yeah, you're right. And besides again, anyone has a lead? A handful of students in front of us turn around after making sure Evelyn is still writing on the board. Hey, Riley, you know how to escape from here? Please, I'll give you anything you want, I just wanted to get out of here alive. Jessica gives them her most haughty look. You idiots, have you been listening? We're still looking. You said you had a theory, Riley. Yes, but a theory to survive a little longer, that's all. Till we figure out how to get out of here. Jessica nods her head in agreement. I'm rich. My father can give you anything. Just get me out of here. Did you not pay any attention? We don't know how yet. Emma, you're a super nice girl. Please, I'll do anything you want. And turns to a sigh. These guys are crazy. Talk about losers. They explain some of the messages on the chat. There has to be some way to escape. If there are rules, there are loopholes. The real question is, if Evelyn thought of rules to torture us, why would she leave us the option of exploiting any loopholes? Could we use one of the weird weapons she invoked? I'm sure... That scared me. That noise low-key made me jump. If you have time to chat, it means you already know everything about this class. Our entire little group freezes instantly. You there? Are you saying something? Is it because you're bored? No, not at all. The allegedly very rich student's shaky voice betrays the sobs that agitate him. I was... It's probably more interesting than this class. Could you share with the whole class what you were saying? A cold sweat floods my chest. Could have been me. I'm 3 feet away from him. But he is the one who was doomed. He was the last to speak. Last one to break the rules. With a howl, the student in front of me gets up and runs full speed towards the large glass windows at the back of the room. I was seen in awe. Evan still standing motionless next to the board, her toothy ground lips. Is he going to explode? What does she plan to... The student throws all his weight against one of the large windows in hopes of shattering it. I have a wish with all my heart that he will succeed. If he does, we'll even have time to kill us all. We'll be able to sneak away during class or call for help. Oh my god, that scared me as well. A new flash of light dazzles me for a moment, then disappears just as suddenly. My eyes slowly reopen, but the long pained groan I hear leaves no doubt as to the outcome of this escape attempt. What the hell happened? A new vision of horror awaits me. The student who tried to flee lies a few meters off the ground, pierced by a wall of thorny vines that dance along the large windows. Bo is stuck to the window! Very quickly his rattling dies down and his lifeless body comes to a complete stop, just like the brambles that now seem to be frozen. The side of the windows, through a few gaps left by the thorny vines, see a bright blue sky as if to cruelly remind us of our captivity, the fatal outcome of which is no longer in doubt. Where's the real professor in all this jazz? The room is perfectly silent, aware that the slightest noise could be sanctioned by Evelyn. There is no alternative to this deadly little game. Must play by the rules. The only way to survive is to break through the cracks. Next to me, Emma sits straight in her chair, her eyes closed. How rude! Now you can discuss as much as you want after class is over. A new feeling of deep unease comes over me. I feel as if Evelyn is looking at me with a sardonic smile. Her eyes, an unearthly glint dances in the depths of her eyes. Could it be madness, cruelty, sadism, or simply fun? In a great theatrical gesture, Evelyn turns back to the board and starts writing again as if nothing had happened. A medallion, glowing with magic, bounces against her chest as she moves, an unyielding witness to the carnage she has wrought. Deep inside me, a small voice that I had previously muzzled now resounds with force. We can't get out anymore. We are doomed. I'm going to save the game again. I'm guessing that should save. Alright, now you should have the basics of sociology. Evelyn goes back to sit at her desk, looking satisfied. Behind her, the board is black with sociology, but I am unable to focus on them. Evelyn, what kind of new horror is she planning? Oh shit, didn't mean to do that. Okay, now that we're done with this chapter, I think it's time for some questions. Oh boy, time for some questions. This relentless phrase catches up with us again. She's not done with the punishments. And people are going to be killed before she finally lets us out. She's really planning to sacrifice the entire student body one by one under the guise of nobody's perfect. I quickly scan the room looking for Evelyn's next potential victim. I see a small group of 3 students who are shaking all over. Can't remember their names, but they are the kind of guys who usually play bad boys in any situation. They probably realise that they are guilty of some shady shit, which is why their panic is so obvious. They are condemned. Evelyn walks slowly along the main staircase like an empress. An empress who has the right of life and death over each and every one of us, just like in the old days. Remember, microsociology is based on 2 founding pillars, social interactions and communication between individuals. We've already talked about social interactions, so how about questions about communication? Her malevolent smile widened. Are there any volunteers? I restrained myself from looking directly at her, afraid to meet her eyes. Sure, witch, do your usual sadistic little trick. We know damn well you're going to point to the person you had in mind all along. Nobody? Okay, well, I have to pick someone again. So Evelyn slowly moves closer to our row. Shit! I hope she doesn't target Dan! Haven't heard from you since the beginning of our class. What a shame, you seem to be such a good student. My whole body instantly freezes. No way. Can't be. It takes me all the strength of my will to manage to turn my head in Evelyn's direction. What was your name again? Emma? That's completely impossible! Emma sits stiffly upright in her seat, livid, her wide eyes focused on Evelyn. She barely manages to nod her head in agreement. What is this, like, Control-Search-H bullshit that's going on in the back? Let's see, I need a question for someone like you. I'm on the verge of apoplexy. Blood rushes through my skull so fast my eyes naturally close. Only Evelyn's mocking face refuses to disappear, like an indelible stain on my retina. Emma, my Emma, doomed. It's impossible! What place is there for honesty in a couple? In other words, should we tell each other everything? And my mouth to scream, but only a hoarse grumble comes out. Emma turns to me, a finger over her mouth. Ta-ta-ta, no cheating. You wait for your turn to answer. Oh my god, that was creepy. Her eyes cast a blue evil light. The moment I see a stronger flicker deep in her pupils. That's not correct English, but okay. I mean, this is a French game, so. And I feel something go haywire inside me. I can't breathe. I put my hands to my neck. I still held to my seat by some magical force probably triggered by Evelyn's curse. Emma turns to me in panic. Stop, I beg you! Evelyn stares at Emma, a big smile on her face. Another proof of her sadism as I continue to suffocate in my seat. Emma, I asked you a question! I'm sorry. Emma topples over into an advanced state of panic. I try to stop Emma from answering the question, but the lack of oxygen prevents me from doing anything. Please, don't answer. I honesty. Tell each other everything. Yes, yes! Emma claps her hands together. Excellent answer! Em turns at me stunned. I have... My vision blurs from my asphyxiation. On her face, is it blood? I can barely make out Emma as she collapses to the ground. I think I hear the screaming of the twins nearby, but my ears are ringing terribly. The lack of oxygen is getting the whip better of me. My head is spinning. Where is Emma? The verge of fainting, I see 2 huge eyes. Terrifying. Careful. Class not over yet. You must not leave your seat. At these words, I finally managed to suck in a huge gulp of air. Oh shit. Emma is lying on the floor, a long blue dagger protruding from her back. Breathless, I struggle to scream. Evelyn's threat hit me hard. If I leave my seat, I will be punished. I will die too. I lower my tearful eyes towards Emma's body, whose face straightens slightly towards me. The horror of Evelyn's twisted trap intrudes on me in all its glory. If I want to live, I must let the girl I love die before my eyes, without being able to comfort her, without being able to touch her one last time. I must let her die alone, abandoned on the dusty floor of an auditorium. If I have a feeling, if I choose no way here, I'm gonna get an ending. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I will save Emma next time I play. I can't stay still. I can't. Fuck Evelyn. Fuck everyone else. Nothing makes sense anymore. I was going to die. Whoa! Just as I rush to the floor to hold her, and immense pain hurts my back. I collapse in front of Emma, and I can see the supernatural dagger piercing my body. But my eyes remain fixed on Emma's tear-stained face. I painfully manage to reach out my arm to her, and our 2 hands meet halfway. Her own hand is already so cold. A ragged cough after interrupts me, and I can taste blood in my mouth. Emma's eyes turn glassy as the last sign of life is drained from her. She's dead. Emma. I can use what little energy I have left to let out a howl filled with faint anger and despair, feels as if the world's gone completely silent. Nothing around me matters anymore, nothing but Emma's big, lifeless eyes. Why? I can feel the life slipping out of my body quickly. Breathing becomes more difficult and I can't move my head. I hear Evelyn's voice in the distance. Strangely, the tone is neither mocking nor playful, more like disappointed. To pity, I didn't expect such a stupid reaction from you. Painfully articulate a few words in a breath of hatred. You bitch. Alright, let's keep going. Hear Evelyn's footsteps walking away. Go die, you... My last sentence is interrupted by a jolt from the dagger that seems to move on its own along my spine. These are the last words I am able to speak, words of insult, but not the girl I love. Probably would have been better off addressing my last words to Emma. What an idiot. My eyes closed for the last time I clutched Emma's lifeless hand to mine with a little fury roaring inside me. Let's move on to the next question. Is there a volunteer? You have not obeyed the witch's rules and have hence been sentenced to death. Die you shall, you fool. Yep, end of game. Yep, that's perfect. Yeah, the game is very short. So let's go ahead and start a new one. Same name. Creepy ass motherfucker. Alright, yes. Yes. But I'm going to choose all the opposites of what I chose before. The meaning of life, the origin of black holes. Progressing the course is simply part of this great unfathomable whole. Might as well go all in. Wish I could answer you, but you know, I haven't shown up to class for... Ugh! Emma graces me with a surprisingly powerful blow to the sternum that takes my breath away. I give Emma a surprised look. What was she expecting? That I'll be up to date with the course? I swivel towards Evelyn. Well, Riley, I'm lucky you decided to show up today. I'm sure you won't regret getting up this morning. Huh? We can help Riley remember where you were. We were on comprehensive sociology. Evelyn quickly claps her hands, looking visibly excited. The analysis of the social world. Fantastic. Social relationships, right? Domination, power, differentiation. I really need to start studying for real or else Emma's going to yell at me again. Okay, I do believe this is all going to be the same. Yeah, it's the screaming. Yeah. Okay, I'll choose this one. I sigh in frustration. If Dan is convinced, that means it's a plan worthy of a kindergartner. In other words, something you shouldn't do. I take a look at Jessica's inquisitive face. She seems to share my apprehension. Calm down, Jessica. Calm down. Fuck. Calm down, Dan. There's just one issue with this. Jessica sets her big eyes and Wes, who immediately blanks. The pure person who's going to open the door to test the theory. Are you talking about yourself? No, I hang on with Dan. I'm probably listed as impure too. You want to designate someone else to be in line for the slaughterhouse? Wes stares at Zoe with a look of intimidation. I think one chance to try this plan. We must choose the most blameless, pure person. Someone who will have the best chance of not being targeted by the witch. A serious what kind of a light person is above suspicion? You little shit. You want to, yeah. This guy's crazy. Talk about losers. They explain some of the message on the chat, yeah. Okay, skipping. Okay, I didn't, ah. Fuck, let's go here again. Skip. Okay. Interesting. So now let's try mixing shit up a bit. But hold on, let me just look something up first. Because if I'm doing all this for nothing, then, Um... Oh, this isn't even the thing. Wrong thing. So hold on, which is ending all Fall Guys? Yeah, run to Emma when she gets stabbed. That's the one I got. Sounds fun. In other words, no, there is no chance. There is no way. In which case, there's no point even trying. Yep. Yeah. He was going to die. To watch her die totally powerless. My eyes still on him, a shaking body, I turned to Evelyn in a pleading voice. Please spare her, please! But as soon as Evelyn's walking voice was whispering in my ear, you discussing class, I have to punish you. Emma's gaze becomes pleading. Please don't. Her voice is weak, but still manages to convey her message forcefully. Tears stream down my cheeks, and until the end, she's still concerned about me, about my survival. I'm sorry. Sorry the girl I love is dying in front of me. I'm not doing anything to help her, and I'm sorry! Do something! I turned into a hoarse whisper. Love you. Emma pretended to smile despite a coughing fit that causes a new spray of blood to appear along her mouth. At last thing, this is interrupted by a jolt from the dagger that seems to move on its own hilt along her spine. As life completely abandons Emma and her big blue eyes turn grey, as I feel as if I am drained of all motion. I no longer feel anger or terror. I just feel deep despair that almost completely numbs my pain. Emma couldn't even finish her sentence. Evelyn probably waited for the right moment to put her out of her misery to make my pain worse. Evelyn. I know I should feel all the hatred in the world for her. I know I should stand up, use the dagger stuck in Emma's body, and run to a certain death trying to tear out her huge blue eyes. No peasant would just take the cruelest and hardest revenge possible, but these thoughts seem perfectly futile to me. Nothing matters anymore. Emma's dead. I close my eyes and begin to cry openly, not caring about any punishment from Evelyn. I'm so sorry. When I open my eyes again, I see Dan, who was moved right next to me from the back row. Guess Evelyn has resumed her class, and that quiet movement and whispering is loud again. I look at him blankly. A little further down in the row, with the twins are on the verge of fainting, their faces are ravaged by numerous dried tear tracks. We're gonna get even. We're gonna kill her, I swear. I remain silent. At the corner of my eye, I see Jessica watching me intently from the row behind me. I look with concentration on her face. One step passive, we're gonna make it. So my heart was turned into some kind of black hole that has completely wiped out any form of emotion in me. I think to stare at him without saying a word. Riley, say something! Dan shakes me by the shoulder despite the risks involved to feel and spots us. Come on, there's no point in crying forever, we have to get even now. The ocean of pain that completely overwhelmed me slowly turns into raging anger. Shut up. What? I don't care anymore. She killed Emma. That's why we need to react! Emma, she was perfect, and yet she killed her, slaughtered her like a lamb. Looking contrite, Dan puts his hand on my shoulder in what he hopes is a comforting gesture. It is not. My theory was completely wrong. She kills anyone. If Emma was targeted, then we're all going down. Emma was perfect. Tears welled in my eyes again. I should have stayed with her. Evelyn would have killed me too. I would have died with Emma. We would have stayed together, and she wouldn't have had to die alone. Like, my voice breaks into sobs. Anger again gives way to sadness and despair. Dan watched me with clenched jaws, looking visibly moved. But the plan of it amuses you. There are no rules and logic. She's going to kill us all with her invincible magic powers, and we're all going to die totally helpless. Has we rules? You said so. Emma's dead. There are no rules. I think we'll alone enjoy your last moments. Dan widens his eyes, shocked by my fatalism. This isn't like you, giving up like this. Leave me alone. I just want to. Just what? Stay with Emma? So what am I waiting for? To get up from my seat and have Evelyn kill me? Am I just a coward? My thinking is interrupted by Evelyn's voice again. Well, let's get back to the questions. Is there a volunteer? An unexpected commotion fills the room. After Emma's death, everyone seems to understand that anyone can become Evelyn's target. She's gonna kill us all! Help! Run away! The screams act as a signal. 3 students rush for the door, while a handful try their luck with the glass windows despite the thorny vine wall. The remaining students remain paralysed in their seats, aware that it is already too late to get moving. I pity the participants in this futile escape attempt. Poor fools. There is no escape. She's planned everything. We can't get out. Evelyn observes the sudden rush with an amused look. She barely needs to move an arm for more magic spears to come out of nowhere and pin the 3 runaways near the ground to the door with a sickening crack. Oh, Jesus Christ. Her smile widens as the blue glow dances in her eyes, shines brighter than ever as the glow in her medallion. As for those who tried to get past the thorny vine wall, well, their screams tell me the extent of their failure. I refuse to turn around to contemplate this new part of the morbid work imagined by Evelyn. That filthy witch, who deprived me of Emma. She seemed to enjoy the last moans of the dying students. When a dead silence reigns again in the room, her voice raises again. You guys are pretty agitated. I think we can conclude the questions for now. Alright, let's get back to the class. Perhaps we should start the chapter about justice. Evelyn claps both hands, delighted by her own idea. Yes, justice sounds perfect. She turns back to the board and erases it with a snap of her fingers before returning to writing. The surviving students are all morbidly pale. Even Dan seemed particularly downcast. After all, Evelyn has just killed again. 5 people, without any hesitation. The list of the next potential victims is shrinking by the minute. Everyone knows that they could be next. And please don't forget to take notes. Best students will be rewarded. I'm not here. What? No. Huh. That's funny and weird. The best students will be rewarded. Rewarded? She's blatantly messing with us. As far as fingers unconvincingly resume their dance on the computer keyboards, everyone seems to be in shock at the massacre that just occurred. The door and the adjoining wall are now covered with blood, and a strong smell of corpses fill the atmosphere. I guess we've gotten used to such a stench because no one is vomiting anymore despite the carnage. Or maybe we don't have anything left to vomit. Evelyn, not bothered by the foul smell in the air, now recites the rest of the lesson by writing the most important concepts on the board. We don't have a choice now, we have to come up with a plan or we're going to die otherwise. I turned disillusioned to look toward Dan. What's the point? We're going to die. You just said so. I want you to try something. The escape attempt just happened. You saw the result. Evelyn didn't even look surprised. Dan seems at a loss for words. So what? So what? We have to just come up with a better plan. Jessica, sitting in the row directly behind, leans in. Riley, stop whining. Won't bring Emma back. We need your help to think of a plan. I give her a hateful look. You shut up. You never wasted a chance to insult Emma. You hated her. I raised my voice despite the risk that Evelyn would hear us and just take a bite out of our lives. But why not? We're doomed anyway. You must feel so superior to be still alive. Emma deserves to live 1,000 times more than you. Tears from my eyes again. I thought I was dehydrated for good. Emma, she was so much better than you, than all of us, and yet she is... Unable to finish my sentence. Saying these words out loud feels like an almost insurmountable ordeal. Jessica looks at me sadly. It's the first time I've seen that kind of look on her face. Running about Emma. Dan cuts her off. Emma begged you to stay put so you would stay alive. Listen to her, it means you still have hope in you. You want to survive. I didn't move when she died. I watched her die like the worst kind of coward. And since then I still haven't moved. It would be so easy to end it. I only need to stand up and... Evelyn... Riley, Emma sacrificed herself for you. Until the end, she only thought of you. Don't throw away that chance. We can do this. Behind Dan, the twins glare at me. It's true, Riley. Emma was counting on you. If you die without trying, then it's like she died for nothing. A small spark of fury flares up inside me. It gently rekindles a desire that I had almost completely obliterated since Emma left us. The desire to live. The despair I feel does not go away. There is no way out. Evelyn's just proved it. Her magic is far too powerful and cruel. Just read the chat. All these spineless idiots have already given up. You're better than that, Riley. I turn back with my laptop without any conviction and scan with my eyes the last messages left on the chat. I can't believe it. Just killed 5 people at once. She got Emma, then we're all doomed. She kills for fun, I told you already. Don't try to find any rationale. So Riley's theory was completely wrong? Riley is just trash. Wow, thanks, bitch. He's been working with her since the beginning. Yeah, maybe he wanted to give us false hope. Riley, you filthy trash. Repent! Just give the sins of a few that we're all doomed! He's crazy. We were all chosen as sacrifices to summon a demon to cleanse the earth of our sins. Something crazy? Maybe we're all going to die because of the wretchedness in our class. Shut up! Matt didn't deserve to die! Didn't do anything wrong! It makes sense we're all condemned because of a few assholes who deserve to die. It makes no sense at all, you idiot. We're going to die because of you all. I hate you all. We're going to die because you guys are worse than animals. It's just so disgusting. Shut up, you all. There was also a girl among the victims, though, and Emma. It's your fault. Repent. Shut up. Repent. Shut up. Repent. Hashtag popcorn. Repent. Shut up. Repent. 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 I interrupt my reading. The non-stop flood goes on forever. Faced with adversity, people go crazy. You're better than this, Riley. I'm not so sure about that. I'd like to think so. Riley, these cowards have chosen their fate, but not us. You still have it to say. I let out a dejected sigh. Anyway, my theory is wrong. I can come up with a plan that makes sense without understanding the cruel rules of the game. So what? You always been so theoretical. There's talking while acting. Oh shit, I accidentally zoomed out of the game. What kind of action? Did you see how she killed five people in the blink of an eye? Riley is right. If we don't understand how she acts, we won't be able to exploit her weaknesses. I don't care. We'll sit around and wait for the death. Discouragement wins our small assembly. The faces are dark, except for Jessica, who gives me an enigmatic and sad look at the same time. Riley. All eyes immediately pivot on her, hoping that she will announce a plan as miraculous as it is unexpected. I tell you about Emma. What is she going to say? That she saw Emma throw a piece of trash on the street and hence deserved to die? Jessica let out a long sigh. I'm sure she was very nice to her friends, and she probably had a lot of affection for you, but... Huns open their eyes wide. Jessica, there's no point. Wouldn't do him any good to know. Wait, what? Tell me what, speak. My tone's not necessarily snarky, but proves my renewed interest in the affairs of this world. I hate her, it's true. I can't forgive her since... He doesn't need to hear that! You go to Chloe, she immediately looks down. Shut it, I need this more than ever. Since what, Jessica? Jessica closes her eyes. Since she slept with my boyfriend last year at dance party. What? Emma with David? Is that why you dumped him right afterwards? Wait, what? Zoe looks at me with pleading eyes. She was upset about her cat who died, and David kept hitting on her. It's not her fault if... Jessica's eyes regain their ice-cold stare. Caught them in the act of the party. I don't care about their reasons for doing this. It takes two to cheat. Both of them deserve all my contempt. So yes, I dumped that cheating bastard, and yes, that's why I started hating Emma. And no, I didn't tell you, Riley. Emma, my Emma, so sweet, so perfect. She cheated on me? Riley, you have been together for less than a year back then. If you knew how much you regretted it after... Shut up! I yell without any restraint. I feel most of the eyes in the room converge on me. It's literally impossible, something rather... Hold on. For most of the eyes in the room converge on me, it's literally impossible that Evelyn didn't hear me. The twins, terrified, turn their heads toward the board, waiting for the inevitable punishment. That never happens. Only the cheerful voice of Evelyn, who continues to recite her lessons, fills the silence, and the noise of the computer keyboard settles down again. Emma cheated on me. Despite all we've said to each other, even everything we've been through, all the words of love we've exchanged, tears were coming to my eyes. I thought we'd end up getting married, start a family together, grow old together, die together. Fuck! I had no idea. I'm so sorry. Twins remained quiet. They obviously knew all about it. They and Emma have been friends forever. Ronnie, I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I didn't think it was any of my business. I didn't want to interfere in other people's relationships. I already had to bury mine. I remained silent, my fists clenched. Emma, behind her junk smile, she stood with the filthy trash like David. Every time she told me I was the only one. Shit! Sorry to bring this up again, but that means Riley's theory is still correct, right? Emma deserved to... I cast a bloodshot glance toward Wes, still sitting in the row behind me. If you say one more word, I'll rip your throat out with my teeth. Wes immediately closes his mouth, obviously frightened by my meaningless threat. Did I miss something? No, I did not. I clicked twice, I double-clicked. That's awfully cynical, Riley, and I understand how hard it is for you to take that under such conditions. Wes has a point. That witch did have a reason to go after Emma. There was nothing blind about it. I don't care. Give a fuck. My theory, Jessica, Dan, and everyone. My whole being is focused on Emma. Of all the happy memories that are crumbling one by one. But you have to get revenge. Channel your anger to find a way out of this. I'm about to propose to Dan to go gently fuck himself. I have a plan. I need you. Everyone goes wide-eyed. No one expected Dan to come up with a plan, even me. The surprise makes me forget Emma for a moment. You have a plan? We're all listening, Dan. Dan sits up straight in his seat, delighted by the general attention. Listen. Close my eyes for a moment to push Emma out of my thoughts and focus on Dan's plan. As Jessica said, we're now pretty sure that the people designated to answer the questions have all done something bad, quote-unquote. According to the witch's completely fucked up standards, of course. The only people who might have been offended by that, the dead, are no longer around to voice their concern, and it seems she wants to kill people in a certain order. That's why she designated her victims one by one, so that the survivors have plenty of time to torture themselves by thinking about their own potentially reprehensible acts. But his morbid little game is a flaw. We are now hanging on Dan every single word, who marks a very theatrical pause as if he's forgotten the situation we are currently in. Out with it? Well, if we have questions, she already has a target in mind, so we just need to volunteer. Dismay fills most of the nearby faces except for Wes, who looks at Dan intensely. I knew I shouldn't have raised my hopes up. It's Dan we're talking about. You shouldn't have had any expectations. Jessica slaps him on the back of the head. That's your brilliant plan! You think she's going to break down on her own at the genius of her unexpected reaction? Wait, I'm not done. The idea is just to divert her attention with something she won't anticipate. I stare Dan with a puzzled look. This plan makes absolutely no sense, but I like the idea of trying to confuse Evelyn, taking her out of her comfort zone. Then what? If I get her attention, then one of you can stab her from behind. Stab her with what? Walk around with a knife in your bag? Dan turns his head toward Emma's dead body, pierced by a long blue dagger whose hilt seems to glint slightly. With this thing. Dan turns back to me. I'm sorry, He shakes his head. Sorry, Riley, this is the only weapon we have on hand. That's too far away, there's no way we can get to them without the witch noticing. Dan and Emma immediately look away. I've come with a nausea that is all too familiar. My mind is flooded with conflicting feelings, between despair at having lost Emma and an anger at knowing that our relationship... Emma didn't deserve to die. Nobody deserves to die for this. Not for breaking my heart, not for something so trivial. But if something trivial, how can I feel so much pain inside? I bury my head in my hands to banish the memory of Emma. I have to stay focused on Evelyn. Evelyn, the source of all evil, the source of all this horror. I speak in an incredibly weary tone. Let's say we do manage to use this dagger. How do you plan to... You really plan to stab her? In case you've been sleeping all morning, she's a witch. Physical weapons are powerless against her. Oh yeah? And how do you figure that out? It's in all the movies. Are you that dumb? This isn't a movie, this is the real world. We're talking about our lives. So what? The only frame of reference we have. A frame of reference invented by people who have never done magic in their lives. You think there's some kind of magic school to learn how it works? Of course movie writers have never done magic in their lives. Don't want to confuse me, who gives a shit about this? Which breathes like we do, and if she's stabbed in the throat, she'll stop breathing, it's that simple. The twins sigh heartily. They and Dan never had a particularly cordial relationship. Alright, you have a better idea? Any idea will be better than that? Go ahead, I'm listening. Stop targeting her. Speak you to justify your lousy plan. I rolled my eyes. Such efficiency. Did I miss something? No, I didn't. So much inefficiency. Seems like they're more interested in discrediting each other than coming up with a plan that works for everyone. Let's go into politics. Dan, I don't understand your plan. Can you sum it up clearly? Dan puts both his hands on the table, a very peculiar look on his face, tense features, fixed gaze, frowning eyebrows. Very simple. Next question session, I'll go back to the row behind us and volunteer. Since she doesn't expect to have a volunteer, safe bet that she'll stay focused on me, looking for a suitable question to kill me. As soon as she gets to me, one of you will take the weird blue dagger and attack her from behind. You realize that you are very likely to die. You aren't the idiot who will try and stab her. Dan gives me a bright smile that reflects both his courage and his stupidity. So what? I told you. If you have to go to the slaughterhouse, you might as well do everything you can to stand a chance. I won't just sit back and wait for death to get me. All eyes converge on Jessica, silent for a moment. Jessica, what do you think? My work right? I think his plans should be buried under 40 feet of shit. Probably. But as painful as it is for me to admit, I don't have anything else to offer. It was obvious that the witch wields magic, which pretty much negates any conventional plan one could think of to kill a normal human. On the other hand, that's very indication that there's every indication that she's going to keep killing us all one by one. So what do we do if we have to lose? At this little game, maybe we shall actually be surprised by the fact that an idiot like Dan is volunteering to answer questions. And that, it will open a window to an opportunity for us to attack her. What if... But what if... but I think this might be what's coming, but what if, Dan was next on the list anyway, and she already has a question planned for him. Or, not next on her list, but like has another question planned for him in particular, since he's there, probably. I mean, everyone's here, really, probably Jessica and the twins, probably. And the twins... What are the twins doing? The twins look at Jessica stunned. Yeah, but that sounds very risky. That's why I'm volunteering. What if we can't hurt her with a knife? Then we'll die, which will happen anyway. But are we really all doomed? You all witnessed Evelyn's behaviour. Even though her questions target specific people for a final moment of horror before death, she also uses absurd rules to kill innocent people. In other words, those who disrupt the course. Let's not be naive about her intentions. I think it's now clear that she plans to kill us all. I don't know, she only targets the unclean and those who are stupid enough to not follow the rules. I don't think she wants to kill us all. Jessica looks at him with a disgusted expression. Even if the theory were true, do you really consider yourself as pure? Where's you idiot? With us, agree against us. Was down, clearly sensing the vindicativeness. I'm with you, of course. I just think maybe we're not all doomed. Riley, what do you think? It's clear as damn, but doesn't dare finish the sentence. Riley, can we count on you? Well, let's pivot to me. Count on me, huh? Does the success of this shitty plan really come down to this? Oh shit, almost. There we go. The revelation of Emma's lies has awakened a revengeful fury in me towards the one person behind this all, Evelyn. Dan is right, it's time to act. We're all screwed anyway. This plan isn't worth much, but it does have the merit of trying to get Evelyn out of her comfort zone. Maybe our only hope to find a flaw in her plan. That's better than waiting your turn like a beast doomed for the slaughter. I'll follow you, but on one condition. Dan sounds very relieved. Seems like he was really counting on me to be the one to stab Evelyn. On second thought, I think it would indeed be unreasonable to leave this task to Wet or the twins. On the other hand, Jessica could definitely stab someone. She's a terrifying girl. Who volunteers is the one who will take the most risks. I want that person to be me. The twins' cheeks turn pink. Wow, Riley, you're so... Jessica glares at them for a moment, then turns to me. Hey! My girlfriend just died, you can't be hitting on me now. Riley, you don't have to volunteer for this. Dan isn't the brightest, but he's reliable. If he's volunteering to do it, then that means he'll do it. Dan's surprised look alternates between Jessica and me. Jessica, that's nice! Shut up. If he wants, but... Riley, no way. It's my plan. I'm the one who wants to take the dead guy's seat. I shake my head, looking unruffled. No, from the beginning I feel like Evelyn has been giving me... I don't know. It's like she's been giving me special treatment. Because she called you handsome? No offense, dude, but get over it. That didn't mean anything. I dismiss her remark with an irritated gesture. It's not about that. Since she walked into this room, she has looked at Emma. It's almost like she killed her to torture me, more than to punish Emma. Jessica looks at me intensely. I have to admit, Emma's death was pretty unusual compared to her usual modus operandi. But we're talking about her most recent targeted murder. Maybe she had planned to modify her methods from now on. Maybe, but... As for her winking at you, sorry to disappoint, but I agree with Dan. She spent her time simpering with half the guys in this room. As a girl, I can tell you straight up, I will probably feel like you're special in her eyes, but I'm afraid that's just an illusion she likes to maintain, so she can torture you with even more eventually. Jessica is probably right. Everyone likes to think they're special, but they're not. It's just easy to deny it, especially in such extreme circumstances. Yet these eyes, so strange, as if they could read my soul. Riley, I need you for the second and equally perilous step. I need you to stab her. I shake my head again. I ask the question, you stab her. Or someone else. I don't care. Besides, you're much more of an action guy than I am. I don't know if I can stab someone without passing out. Riley, for fuck's sake, do you think I'm a hero or something? I'm terrified too. You'll be much better at this part than me. I ask the question, you'll figure out the rest. Those are my terms. Take it or leave it. Jessica closes her eyes, one hand over her face. You're even more stubborn than Dan. Guys are such idiots. Riley, you're a hero. Riley, we trust you. I'm sorry, I can't do those voices with a straight face. The twins seem more concerned with the heroic nature of the plan than with its effectiveness. Might as well not count on them too much either. As for Wes, he looks away every time I look at him. He is probably delighted to escape any responsibility for the execution of this plan and doesn't want to be noticed too much. Okay, bro, if this is the only way to get you on board with this work, I'm counting on you. Finally managed to smile for the first time in what seems like forever. Let's make that witch pay. This is not going to go well. I can tell you right now. Evelyn finally turns away from the board in a large movement. I positioned myself near the stairs and the moves twinned. What? The moves twinned! Yes, and the twins moved to my left. In the row in front of us, Dan positioned himself next to Jessica and Wes. The blue dagger lies at his feet, hidden by my own body. It would be too risky for him to keep it in his hands. Evelyn would notice it immediately when she walks up the stairs. Alright, it's question time. My heart rate suddenly speeds up. Here we go. The moment of truth is approaching. I'll probably die in a few minutes. Emma's face quickly flashes before me. Despite her lie, I'm unable to suppress my feelings for her, especially since I am probably about to join her very soon in the afterlife. The twin said she bitterly regretted what she did back then, over a year ago. My ambivalent feelings begin a new tumultuous clash within my heart. I sigh heavily. Hatred alone will do me no good. I must channel my anger towards Evelyn, the one because of whom everything started. With my eyes closed, I whisper a few silent words as if to exorcise my inner demons. I'm sorry. I love you. When I open my eyes again, I feel like they glow with a fierce light. Or at least, I strongly hope so, because the rest of my body is racked with tremors from the terror I'm feeling. Shit, why did I volunteer to throw myself into the lion's mouth? Just finished the chapter on justice, which is perfect because I have some questions for, and pauses her gaze fixed on me, or to be precise, on the shaking arm I'm painfully managing to hold up. Yes, Riley? Gather all the hate I'm feeling right now and channel it into my eyes before answering her. I volunteer. Evan looks at me with this very surprised look. Dan's right, she wasn't expecting this. Oh god! Oh god! Ugh! I can't look at the screen. Hold on. Oh, that face is really bloody creepy though. I can't even lie. Oh god. Her surprise quickly gives way to a cruel smile that blossoms on her cold face. She slowly walks up the stairs in his direction. Well, I'm glad to see you're trying to be such a good student. Her movements seem appallingly slow to me. That's probably because I'm living my last moment. I slowly lower my arm as Evelyn finally reaches my height. Behind me, I can almost feel the tension that has completely overwhelmed Dan. Stand up, please. Despite my shaking, I manage to stand up and face her. Her enigmatic smile widens a little more. With her long, graceful fingers gently brush my cheek. I feel as if I slipped into another dimension where we'd been completely isolated from the rest of the world. Riley, you naughty boy, what are you trying to do? That is a creepy-ass motherfucker. That actually kind of looks like me a little bit. That's kind of creepy. I don't like that. Sweat drips down my forehead. As if her eyes were able to read me like an open book. Has she figured out our plan yet? I volunteer. Volunteer. It runs her sharp tongue over her lips. It's because I took her of your little sweetheart. The tremor in my jaw betrays my emotions. What a hopeless romantic you are. So moving. Well, such a lucky girl. Was. Don't talk about her! Each word inflicts a jolt of pain in my temples, but somehow I manage to respond intelligibly. Evelyn's gaze becomes falsely sympathetic. Oh, Riley, did you know she was cheating on you? I look at her without blinking. Oh, you already knew? That's a surprise. But already knew, even before today. I remain silent, focused on the pain in my temples that is intensifying. Oh, but maybe you actually prefer naughty girls. Shut up. I could barely articulate a word. The pain is almost unbearable. Did you actually enjoy it, knowing that her body used to rebel warily against other men's, despite your supposedly exclusive relationship? Maybe the weird hope she would end up saying someone else's name during your intimate moments. Ah, youth. Evelyn breaks into a cruel little laugh. Shut up! I managed to pronounce these last words without fainting, which is a small miracle. The lines in Evelyn's face become harder. Oh no, Riley, no. You're not talk like that to your professor. Otherwise I have to punish you as well. Go, die. Evelyn's smile suddenly reappears. Well, that's a shame. Evelyn behind you. Wide-eyed, Evelyn turns around and sips Dan's sword arm in a blue flash. Wes, you fucking bitch. She clenches her right fist back into the void and Dan contorts in pain on the floor. The dagger falls with a thud and bounces off a handful of steps. Wes, you traitor. Wes stands, his eyes bugging out. Evelyn, is everything okay? Her magic is a focus on Dan. Kill him. Please kill Wes. We don't want him around anymore. Thank you, Wes. I didn't expect such exemplary behaviour from you. Not handing out any reward, but you definitely deserve one. Wes bulges his chest slightly as Jessica looks at him in horror. Fulfilling my student duty, to help you. Excellent, I like obedient students. As for you, you little brat. She redirects her attention to Dan, who stifles a howl of pain. I don't know what magical torture she's subjecting him to, but the pain seems unbearable. It is forbidden to attack your professor. Dan's suffering seems to be rapidly intensifying. Despite the pain in my temples not fading, I regain control of my senses. Damn it, I have to do something! I see the dagger that seems to be calling to me with all its might, on the step in front of me, right next to Evelyn. The opportunity is far too good to be true. A miracle like this is a trap. Dan's suffering prompts me to act without question. Grab the dagger at full speed and cock my arm to strike Evelyn's back. I can barely hear Wes's scream trying to alert her as Jessica rushes over to silence him. Only Evelyn matters, with her back towards me and all her attention on Dan. We get a better opportunity. I bring the dagger down towards her neck in the hope of killing it with the first blow. Probably won't get a second chance to strike. As Blade's about to reach her best skin, Evelyn's body swivels slightly and her head turns towards me. Due terror invades me, I'm screwed. She can protect herself to lay with Dan and torture me to death. In a desperate attempt, I continue my gesture towards my graceful neck. To my surprise, Evelyn just smiles at me and closes her eyes. I feel neither pain nor resistance when the blade sinks deeply into her neck. A spray of blood sprays my face while the metal easily tears the flesh. Evelyn conventionally collapses to the ground in a torrent of agony. Breathless, my face studded with cold sweat and Evelyn's warm blood, I drop the dagger to the floor. Blood gushes from her mortal neck wound, and the pained expression on her frozen face tells me that the witch has finally passed away. Only her medallion still glows faintly with an unearthly blue light. Dan lies right in front of her, his eyes empty of life. He died to save us. Dan. Shit! A few tears beat at the corners of my eyes as I see Wes rush to Evelyn's lifeless body, looking totally desperate. Evelyn, please wake up. This fucking traitor. How long has he been working for her? Was he planning to betray us all along? Fist clenched, I feel a new hatred roar in my chest. Dan is dead because of him! I stare at Wes in disgust. He's really mourning Evelyn's death, the death of the one who caused all this horror. I drifted Dan's lifeless body. Dan shouldn't have died. The only one whose death is not fully due to Evelyn. The only one whose death could have easily been avoided. My jaw clenches so tightly that it's painful, and I feel the hatred rising in me. Hatred that could lead me to look down at the bloody dagger that lies right next to Evelyn's corpse. It almost feels like, is Dagger calling me? Yes. Yes, it's calling me. Wants blood to flow. More blood. Again. 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 But I don't do that! Turn to Zoe. A dazed look on my face. What? Please, drop the knife. The girl turns to my hand, horrified at the sight of the dagger that is somehow clenched within my fingers. How did it get there? Did I pick it up? Zoe gives me a pleading look. I have to stop this bloodshed. You can hear the wisdom in her words. And yet, a little voice in my head is screaming at me to kill Wes, to make him bleed, to slit his throat with that perfectly sharp blade and watch him bleed to death, slowly, painfully. Despite the pain in my temples, I managed to focus on the situation. I don't want to. Kill him. Become a mere slave. Kill him! No. Kill him! Stop! Kill! I did a howl of pain and managed to regain control of my body. I will not kill him. I refuse to become Evelyn's puppet. The voice that was so present in my mind disappears completely. I realize that I'm sweating profusely, short of breath. Zoe hugs my arm, a panicked look on her face. Brady, are you okay? What are you... We are interrupted by the sound of Jessica delivering a strong kick directly into Wes's jaw. At least one tooth comes loose and the traitor's body collapses to the side. Wes lets out a cry of pain, but Jessica continues to kick him as he contorts on the floor. You little, vile, traitorous shit! Wes starts coughing on blood and Zoe rushes over to Jessica to interrupt the brutal beating. Jessica, stop! The witch is dead! Jessica slaps her with a resounding blow that resumes the strikes against Wes, who remains collapsed on the ground. He killed Dan! He tried to want us all dead! He must pay! I step between her and Wes, the dagger red with Evelyn's blood still in my right hand. Jessica looks at me with all the hate in the world in her eyes. You want to save him too? You think it's fair? I shake my head and hand her the dagger. Make him pay. Jessica's eyes watched me with all their intensity for an interminable moment, and then despair into a brink of tears. Why did he betray us like that? I place a hand on her shoulder in the vain hope of comforting her. All around us, students scatter towards the door, too happy to be alive to care about Wes's fate. Corner of my eyes spot one timidly opening the door without encountering a curse. Jump and clamour fills the room, and the students all rush out. Finally over, the curse is lifted. We are saved. Jessica's cries, still reeling from emotion, redouble in intensity. Dan would never have died if it weren't for him. We already had the wish to deal with, so why? Roscoe interrupts us, and Wes's guttural voice reaches my ears. Why? To survive, like I've been doing my whole life. A few remaining students stare at Wes with a stunned look. It's easy for you, beautiful, popular people. Life is so easy. Twisted sneer appears on his bloody face. Me, to survive, I had to take refuge under the wing of the powerful. All my life, nobody cares about a guy like me. Staying in the shadow of the popular ones is the best I can hope for. No one believed in your plan, not even you. The only way to survive was to serve Evelyn. With her powers, she could have established a new order, a new justice where people like me can exist without depending on people like you. But now she's dead, and all this slaughter will have been for nothing. Your lousy plan will have been for nothing. Behold the corpses all round you, and you come and ask me why. Fuck off, it's all your fault if... Chloe's vicious kick hits Wes in the throat. The latter, on the verge of choking, stares weakly on the floor like an earthworm. Shut up, you're not even risking your hands dirty to kill you. With all the weapons your new master summoned, you have enough to kill yourself already. Kill yourself easily. She spits at Wes, who is still trying to catch his breath, then walks away towards the door, with Zoe following her. Jessica looks at me indecisively. I stab the soiled dagger into Evelyn, who still remains perfectly still, then lower my eyes toward Wes. Go join her, but lock the door behind you. Let's go, Jessica. Jessica nods, her eyes still misty with tears. I thought he was nagging at me. Why didn't Evelyn fight back like she did against Dan? It's like she let me kill her. I shake my head. It doesn't make sense. Why does this uneasy feeling refuse to go away? I walk slowly towards the exit, a terrible smell of blood behind me. I try in vain to look at the corpses that litter the floor, like a disarticulated puppet subjected to the vindictiveness of a capricious child, with its carnage because of Evelyn. As I step through the doorway, a terribly familiar voice fills my mind and echoes through my entire body. Are you satisfied with this conclusion? Horrified look on my face, turn back to Evelyn, who still lies motionless next to the row where I'm sitting. Wes is crouched down next to her and is holding her face as he cries. Friday, are you okay? I shake my head. Emma's dead right in front of my eyes. She's dead. So where's this voice coming from? Let's go outside. We need some fresh air. Now my head unconvincingly and walk briskly towards the exit, an inextricable feeling out of unease in my heart. Is Jessica Evelyn? Well, we made it out. I welcomed the blue sky with great relief. The sun is obviously at its zenith. The scentless nightmare will have lasted only one morning. One extreme of deaths, populated with suffering and miraculously sealed by the disappearance of the witch. I suppress new nausea and keep my gaze on the bright blue sky. This time, it's really over. We're out in the open, beyond the reach of Evelyn's magic. The classroom was her playground, her kingdom. If we're out of it, it means we're safe for good. The students, most of them in tears, hug and scream with joy. Even Jessica walks over to the twins to hug them, too relieved to be alive. An embryonic smile appears on my lips. We are alive. I am alive. The nightmare is over. Finally! Suddenly the landscape takes on an impossible colour and a sickening crunch. Around me everything seems frozen. Only the wind disturbs the silence of death which settles on icy wind, carrying the rumour of a melodious voice that whispers softly in my ears. Does this conclusion really suit you? Overcome with a dull panic, I look around frantically. Am I hallucinating? Where's this voice coming from? You are dead! Evelyn, you are dead! You no longer exist! A terrifying burst of laughter, both near and far, rings in my ears. The impossible colours all around me seem to swirl in a hellish spiral. Is it really over? Huh? Hey, Riley, move! Huh? My neurons are slowly kicking in. Like a rusty machine getting greased by motor oil. A moment ago, everything was frozen. Evelyn! I'm frantically, I'm standing right in front of the entrance to the main building of the university, my back warmed by the morning sun. Everybody, what's wrong? Dan looks at me sarcastically. Okay, perfect. Yep, I'm going to end here. Next episode will be interesting, and we'll try and get the other endings as well, because we'll probably end this one as well. But yes, that is it. For the video. Yeah, black screen now. Yep, I'll see you guys in the next episode of either that or something else, but probably that, because I want to get this done pretty fast. And yes, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.